The objective of this lesson is to identify lines, rays, and angles as geometric figures. This lesson introduces a new area of math. Students will describe geometric objects and figures using precise language including line, line segment, ray, and vertex. In this lesson, we'll explore different geometric objects, of which lines are one of the geometric figures. In order for students to be successful measuring angles, they must first distinguish the size of the angle from the length of its rays. The size of the angle is dependent on the amount of turn from one ray to another to create the angle, not the length of its rays. How do we describe this geometric object? We know it's a line because it has arrows on either end. It's straight and goes on and on in both directions. What if we turn this line so it is vertical rather than horizontal? Are there times when we see number lines positioned this way? We've seen them with graphs and with thermometers. In order to identify or name a line, 2 points are drawn on the line and labeled with capital letters. The name of the line is its 2 points with a line above or line AB. Because lines are infinitely long and it's impossible to draw a complete line, arrows are drawn at either end to signify infinite length. A kinesthetic way to remember what lines are is to hold both arms opposite each other with your hands open. Your arms are the straight line and your hands are the arrows. If we take a piece of this line, our points can still be used. If we take just the part between our points, this is called a line segment. A line segment is named with the 2 points, in this case, the letters AB, with a line segment drawn above the 2 points like this. A kinesthetic way to remember line segment is by making our line with our arms but closing our hands to make fists. Our arms represent the line and our fists represent the endpoints. Let's look at another geometric object called a ray. A ray is when only one side of the line is used. It starts at a point and extends infinitely in the opposite direction. Similar to a flashlight with the bulb being the endpoint and the light shining infinitely in one direction. When naming a ray, the letters naming the points are listed and an arrow above pointing to the side that continues infinitely. In our example, it would be written as EF. A way to remember a ray is by making the action with our arms for a line, but closing one fist and having an open hand on the opposite arm. The closed fist representing the endpoint and the open hand representing the arrow. Now let's look at angles. An angle is the amount of turn between 2 rays, line segments, or lines that share a common endpoint or vertex. The rays that form the angle are sometimes known as the sides of the angle. Angles are named by the 3 points forming it. It is written with the vertex or common point in the center of the name of the 3 letters and the other points listed before and after the vertex. In this case, the angle is labeled angle CDE or angle EDC. Angles may also be labeled with an arc on the inside of an angle and a lowercase letter next to the arc. A way to remember angles is to hold both arms out and straight, then move each arm to form an angle while keeping their elbows locked. Your child will have the chance to explore angles further using a great manipulative called Angle Legs. Using this tool, they can review line segments, lines, and angles, and compare the size of angles with their classmates and find angles around the classroom. The objective for this lesson was to have students identify lines, rays, and angles as geometric figures. We met this objective by discussing each of these geometric figures, defining them, and modeling them with our bodies. We also showed the correct way mathematicians refer to these in written form.